A human battleship in the Empire's sector sends tremors of panic through the galaxy. The Empire controlled everything here, from the smallest mining stations to entire star systems. Yet the battleship moved quietly, without any announcements or alarms. It was as if it had appeared from nowhere. Kevin's hands rested on the railing. He could feel the hum of the ship under his feet. The engines were on, but barely. The ship seemed calm, almost peaceful, yet every system was ready to spring into action in a moment. Beside him, Eric Hall, a young officer, scanned the holographic displays. "Sir, the Empire sensors are picking us up. They are trying to classify us, but nothing matches what they see." Kevin nodded. "Let them try. They are not ready to understand us yet. We are not here to fight unless we have to. Patience is our strength." Eric frowned. "But Captain, if they realize we are human, won't they attack?" Kevin shook his head slowly. "Humans are different. They do not always show their power at once. Sometimes the quietest presence is the most dangerous." The bridge was mostly quiet, with only the hum of machinery and occasional beeps from the displays. Other crew members worked diligently, monitoring communications, checking systems, and keeping the ship ready. They were trained to expect anything. The Empire was unpredictable, and humans had learned long ago that being ready was not enough. They had to be clever. Far away in the Imperial control centers, alarms had not sounded yet, but unease grew. Lisa Grant, an Imperial analyst, tapped at her console, watching the human battleship on her screen. She did not feel fear in the usual way. It was more like a chill that crept into her mind. She had seen fleets and weapons before, but nothing like this. The ship was massive, yet it moved slowly, silently, without the flare of weapons or engines. It should have been impressive, but it was terrifying in a strange way. "Report," she said, her voice steady but tense. "We cannot classify it," her assistant replied. "Our sensors cannot measure its energy output correctly. It looks calm, almost inactive, yet every reading is higher than expected. We have never seen this kind of design before." Lisa frowned. "Alert the governors. Let them know a human battleship has entered the sector. Tell them to prepare reconnaissance but hold back fleets. We do not know what it will do." Back on the human ship, Kevin watched a small asteroid drift by. He leaned forward, resting his chin on his hand. "Humans do not go looking for fights," he said softly. "But if someone tries to harm the innocent, we will respond. That is all they need to know." Eric looked at him. "Sir, why not send a warning? Why not show them we are armed?" Kevin smiled faintly. "Because humans have something stronger than weapons. We have control. We have choice. Fear can teach more than fire." As the ship drifted closer to the Empire's core systems, small ships were launched to scan it. Drones approached carefully, sending signals and trying to measure the battleship's defenses. But the human ship did not respond. It did not accelerate or fire. It simply existed, a presence in the dark void. On one of the Empire's outposts, Governor Daniel Simmons watched the screen showing the approaching battleship. He had seen many human ships before, but this one was different. It was huge, more than any model he knew, but quiet. It did not send messages, it did not make threats, and yet he felt his stomach tighten. "Why is it not attacking?" he asked. His aide shrugged. "It does not behave like anything we know, sir. Perhaps it is unarmed." Daniel shook his head. "No, it is human. They always carry more power than they show. This is why we are uneasy. We do not know what it wants." Back on the human ship, the crew went about their duties calmly. Engineers checked systems, communications officers listened to distant channels, and pilots practiced maneuvers. Nothing was rushed, nothing was panicked. They were humans. Humans had patience, and humans understood the value of waiting for the right moment. Susan Lee, a diplomat aboard the ship, approached Kevin quietly. "Captain, do you think they will attack us?" Kevin looked at her and shook his head. "If they do, we will respond, but I do not expect it. Humans have a way of showing strength without fighting. Sometimes the silence itself is enough." Eric, still watching the sensor panels, whispered, "But sir, their fleets are huge. Thousands of ships could be sent. Won't we be outnumbered?" Kevin put a hand on his shoulder. "Numbers do not matter. Tactics and courage matter. And humans are brave. We do not need to fight every battle. Sometimes making them rethink their choices is victory enough." As hours passed, small transmissions from the Empire tried to communicate with the human battleship. Messages were formal, demanding identification, warning the humans to leave the sector. But the battleship did not answer. It did not even turn its weapons on. The silence spoke louder than words. Lisa Grant at the Imperial Command Center watched each unanswered message with growing tension. She could see the fleets gathering in the background, ready to strike, but she hesitated. Something about the human ship was wrong. Not wrong in a mechanical sense, but wrong in a way that challenged her mind. She had learned from reports that humans often acted differently, but this was beyond any experience she had. On the human ship, Kevin moved through the corridors, observing the crew. He saw calm determination in their faces. He saw people ready to act if needed, but not rushing. Human discipline was quiet but absolute. They did not need shouting orders or panic alarms. They moved because it was necessary, not because fear demanded it. Eric followed him. "Sir, do you think they understand what we are doing?" Kevin shook his head. "Not yet, and maybe they never will. Humans are strange to them. They do not fight like others. We wait, we watch, and when the time comes, we act." Outside, the stars moved slowly past the viewport. The Empire's territory stretched for light years in all directions. Fleets could reach the human ship in days, maybe hours, but they were unsure. They feared what they did not understand. In a distant observation station, Governor Daniel Simmons made a decision. "We cannot attack yet. We need to understand what this human is planning, but keep fleets on alert. Do not take your eyes off it for a second." Lisa Grant typed rapidly, sending analysis to all governors. "Every sensor we have shows calm energy. It should be weaker than any battleship, but it feels different. I cannot explain it, but my instincts say danger is here." Kevin walked back to the command deck, resting his hands on the railing again. Eric stood beside him quietly. "Sir," he said softly, "I feel like the entire Empire is watching us." Kevin smiled faintly. "They are, and that is the point. Humans do not need to strike to be strong. Sometimes the presence itself is enough. Wait and see." As night passed across the human battleship's internal clocks, the ship drifted silently through the Empire's sector. It did not attack. It did not threaten. It only existed, a massive human presence in a galaxy that had never truly understood humans. And for the first time in many cycles, Imperial leaders felt unease so deep they could not ignore it. They did not know what the humans would do next, and that uncertainty, more than any fleet or weapon, caused panic to grow. Kevin Morris looked at the stars and whispered, "This is only the beginning." Rumors of the human battleship spread quickly, faster than any fleet could move. Traders and scouts whispered stories as they traveled between worlds. Some said the ship could destroy entire fleets with a single strike. Others claimed it carried weapons no one had ever seen before. Most people did not know the truth, but the name of the ship alone caused worry and fear. On a small trade station at the edge of the Empire, Governor Claire Adams watched the incoming reports. Messages arrived constantly, each more alarming than the last. "A human ship entered Sector 58, one report said. It did not respond to communications. It passed near a mining colony and did not fire, but the colony reported energy readings like nothing before." Claire rubbed her forehead. "It is not attacking," she said aloud, but no one around her replied. Everyone was too tense. She knew humans were strange in their ways. They were patient, quiet, and strong. Most species feared them because of what humans could do if provoked. Far from the station, the human battleship drifted slowly through space. Captain Kevin Morris watched the sensors as small alien ships tried to approach. None came close. The ship did not chase them. It did not signal warnings. It only existed as a massive presence. Eric Hall turned to Kevin. "Sir, why don't we signal them? Why don't we show them we are friendly?" Kevin shook his head. "Humans do not need to beg for understanding. Sometimes the silence itself tells more than words. If they watch carefully, they will see we mean no harm. If they do not, they will learn on their own." Susan Lee, the diplomat, approached. She looked at the star-filled view and said softly, "Humans have patience, but some may not understand patience. The Empire could act rashly." Kevin nodded. "And if they do, we are ready. We always are." On one of the Empire's outposts, analyst Lisa Grant tried to track every movement of the battleship. She called in her assistants. "Check all reports from the outer stations. Cross-reference energy readings. Compare the ship to known human fleets. Something is wrong. We cannot match it to anything we know." One of the assistants, a young man named Alan, looked at her with concern. "Ma'am, the readings are higher than any previous human ship, but the ship seems calm. It does not act like it should." Lisa frowned. "Exactly. And that calm is what scares me. Humans are unpredictable, but a calm human is the most dangerous kind." They do not panic, they plan, and they wait. This is why the governors are nervous. Elsewhere, in a trading hub near the sector border, a merchant named Jenna Cole received a message from a distant station. She read it aloud to her assistants. A human battleship is in the Empire's sector. Sensors cannot measure its power. Colonies report strange energy patterns. Fleets are gathering, but no attack has occurred. Her assistant, a young man named Tyler, shook his head. Why would they come here if they are not attacking? What do they want? Jenna smiled faintly. Humans are clever. Sometimes they are not here to attack, but to make everyone else rethink their choices. The presence of a human ship is warning enough. On the human ship, the crew continued their daily routines. Engineers ran checks on every system. Weapons were tested in simulation but remained powered down. Pilots practiced maneuvers in virtual space, ready if called upon. Humans were disciplined, calm, and prepared. No one rushed, no one panicked. Kevin walked through the corridors, watching his crew work. He stopped by Eric's station. "How are things?" he asked. "All quiet, sir," Eric replied. "But everyone out there is talking about us. The Empire is nervous." Kevin nodded. "Good, let them wonder, let them think. Humans are not loud, but we are always ready. Our strength is in patience and control." Susan Lee joined them. "Sir, scouts are reporting that the Empire is sending envoys. They want to communicate to understand what we are doing. They are afraid but curious." Kevin considered this. "Let them come. We will listen." Humans always listen first. We act only if necessary. As the human battleship moved deeper into the sector, more reports came in from nearby systems. Minor species that had once been ignored now sent messages begging for protection. Rumors of the ship's power reached them first, and fear spread faster than the Empire could control. In one colony, a leader named Rachel turned to her council. "The human ship is near. We do not know what it will do. The Empire may act rashly, but humans act differently. Maybe they will protect us if we show them respect." Her council nodded slowly. The stories of human bravery and cleverness were known, even to minor species. Humans were not conquerors. They were cautious, patient, and strong. And that combination often changed outcomes faster than weapons. Back on the human ship, Kevin looked at the star map. He saw fleets gathering, but none approached closely. Their sensors tried to read the human ship, but the readings were confusing. Calm energy, powerful engines, immense shields, but all seemed dormant. Eric frowned. "Sir, they are sending scouts closer. Should we respond?" Kevin smiled faintly. "No, humans do not respond to fear with fire. Let them come. Let them learn. If they touch our friends or attack, then we act. Until then, we are watchers." Susan leaned beside him. "It is strange. The Empire is powerful, but your calm seems stronger." Kevin shrugged. "Humans are strange that way. We wait, we watch, we act when needed. That is enough to make others pause." In the Empire's command centers, Lisa Grant watched every move. She saw envoys approaching, fleets gathering, and colonies sending pleas for help. Panic was spreading slowly, quietly, but it was spreading. She typed a message to Governor Daniel Simmons. "We do not understand the human ship. It does not act like others. It does not fight. It does not flee. It only exists. This is why everyone is uneasy. I have never seen humans like this before." Daniel read the message and rubbed his temples. "Prepare defense fleets, but do not attack. Keep the envoys ready. Maybe the humans will act with words first. Maybe." Back on the human battleship, Kevin walked to the observation deck. Stars passed silently outside. The Empire's fleets were forming in the distance. They were large, organized, and intimidating, but Kevin did not worry. Humans had ways to face larger forces. Patience and intelligence often outweighed sheer numbers. Eric joined him. "Sir, do you think they will try to fight us?" Kevin shook his head. "Not yet. They are trying to understand us. Humans do not fight for display. We fight when needed. Our presence alone can teach lessons." Susan added quietly, "It is strange. Our quiet is stronger than their fleets. Our calm is more frightening than their weapons." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. Humans are clever. Our actions or lack of actions make others think. That is why they fear us." As hours passed, reports came from every corner of the Empire. Every minor species, every trading post, every colony knew of the human battleship. Stories grew in the telling. Some exaggerated its power, others focused on its strange calm. The human ship became more than a vessel. It became a symbol. Back on the human ship, Kevin observed his crew. They worked, trained, and rested. There was no panic, no noise, no unnecessary action. Humans did not rush. Humans were ready. Humans were patient. Eric spoke softly. Sir, they are watching everything we do, even small movements. Kevin smiled. Let them watch. They will learn patience, respect, and caution. Humans teach in ways that others cannot always understand. Susan looked at the stars and whispered, the galaxy is beginning to feel the human presence, quietly, without a fight, without a word. Kevin nodded. And that is only the beginning. Humans do not need to shout to be heard. We do not need to fire to be feared. Sometimes being human is enough. And so the human battleship moved deeper into the Empire's sector. It did not fight. It did not threaten. It only existed, and everywhere the ship drifted, whispers grew, fear spread, and respect began to take root. Humans were not just another species. They were patient, clever, and strong. And that quiet strength was beginning to change the galaxy. The Empire's fleets moved cautiously through the sector, trying to understand the human battleship. Every sensor scan, every probe, and every message sent back strange and confusing data. The ship was massive, yet calm. Its energy readings were higher than any known fleet, but nothing moved aggressively. The Empire had never seen anything like it. Captain Kevin Morris watched from the command deck, his hands resting lightly on the railing. He could feel the quiet hum of the ship under his feet. Eric Hall, standing beside him, tapped at the controls nervously. Sir, they are sending more envoys. They want to communicate directly. The fleets are forming patterns, maybe trying to show strength. Kevin shook his head slowly. Let them. Humans do not need to prove strength through displays. Our presence is enough. Let them come and see who we are. Susan Lee, the diplomat, looked at him carefully. Sir, some of the Empire leaders are confused. They expected us to act aggressively. Our calm is making them uncertain. Kevin nodded. Exactly. Humans are not predictable in the same way as others. We do not act from fear or pride. We act when necessary. That is what they do not understand. That is why our silence speaks louder than weapons. On one of the Empire's observation stations, Lisa Grant frowned at her console. She was surrounded by colleagues, all of them trying to make sense of the human battleship. We have tried every sensor and calculation, she said. The ship's power output should be obvious, but it is not. It does not behave like a normal fleet. It is calm, but the energy is extreme. It should be active, but it is dormant. This is frightening. Her assistant, Alan, looked up. Ma'am, do you think the humans are bluffing? Maybe they are not as strong as the readings suggest. Lisa shook her head. No, humans are not bluffers. Their calm is a strategy. They do not show their full strength until necessary. That is why every fleet in this sector is on edge. They know humans are dangerous even when they do nothing. Back on the human battleship, Eric turned to Kevin. Sir, the Empire is watching everything. They are trying to guess our next move. Should we send a message, tell them we are peaceful? Kevin smiled faintly. Not yet. Humans listen first. We watch. We understand. Our power is in our control. They will learn that soon enough. If we act too early, we teach the wrong lesson. Susan added quietly, but sir, some of the minor species are scared. They want protection. Maybe they expect us to intervene if the Empire attacks. Kevin nodded. Then we are ready if needed. Humans protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is what we do, but we do not start fights. We wait for the moment that requires action. Patience is more powerful than fire. Far away, the Empire tried to prepare fleets and envoys. Governor Daniel Simmons was frustrated. He could not predict the humans. He could not measure their strength. Every sensor reading was confusing. Fleets formed battle lines, but the human ship did not respond. It only existed, a calm presence in the darkness. What do we do? Asked one of his advisors. Should we attack? Should we retreat? Daniel shook his head. Neither. Keep watching. Send envoys. Maybe they will act with words first. Humans are strange. We cannot fight them without understanding them. In a small colony near the border, a leader named Rachel met with her council. The human battleship is here, she said. It is not attacking, but its presence is strong. The Empire is nervous. Maybe humans will help protect us if we show respect and patience. One council member frowned. But humans are distant. We have no idea what they want. How can we trust them? Rachel smiled faintly. Humans act differently. They do not conquer for pleasure. They do not strike without reason. Their calm is a lesson. They are teaching the Empire something without firing a shot. Back on the human ship, engineers checked systems and simulations. Weapons remained powered down. Engines hummed quietly. Pilots ran training programs ready for sudden action. Humans were calm, prepared, and disciplined. There was no panic. There was no rush. Every crew member understood the value of patience. Eric asked Kevin, "Sir, if the Empire attacks, what will we do?" Kevin looked at the stars and said, "We respond only as needed. Humans are clever. We do not fight every battle. Sometimes showing restraint is more dangerous than striking. The Empire will learn that soon." Susan observed quietly, "The Empire's fleets are forming in patterns. They are cautious, hesitant. Our calm is making them uncertain." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. Humans do not need to roar to be heard. Our quiet teaches respect. Our patience teaches caution. They will feel it soon." On the Empire's side, Lisa Grant typed rapidly, sending reports to all governors. "The human ship does not behave like any fleet we know. It is powerful, calm, and patient. We cannot predict its moves. We must proceed carefully." Daniel Simmons read the message and rubbed his temples. "Prepare defense fleets, but do not attack. Keep envoys ready. We must understand humans first. They do not fight like others. If we act rashly, we may regret it." Back on the human battleship, Kevin walked through the corridors. Crew members worked calmly. Engineers monitored systems. Pilots trained in simulations. Communications officers listened to distant channels. Everyone understood that being ready was more important than rushing. Humans acted with control, patience, and understanding. Eric whispered, "Sir, they are watching every move we make." Kevin smiled. "Let them watch. Humans teach lessons without words. Patience, restraint, and careful action are sometimes stronger than any weapon." "Let them feel it. Let them learn." Susan added, "The Empire may not understand us, but they will notice our calm. They will respect it, or they will fear it. Sometimes fear teaches faster than weapons." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. Humans are clever. We do not always fight first. We wait, we observe, and when the time comes, we act with purpose." As the battleship drifted deeper into the sector, minor species sent messages of concern and hope. They were unsure what humans wanted, but they had heard stories. Humans protected the weak, they acted with intelligence, and they did not strike without reason. The human ship became more than a vessel. It became a symbol. In one small system, a trader named Jenna Cole whispered to her assistants, "The human ship is here." It does not attack, yet the Empire is nervous. Humans do not need to fight to show strength. Just existing quietly teaches lessons. Her assistant Tyler nodded slowly. "Maybe humans are different. Maybe they are not like any other species we know." Back on the human ship, Kevin observed his crew. They moved with purpose, calm but ready. Humans did not panic. Humans did not rush. Humans understood that every action or inaction could teach a lesson. Eric asked softly, "Sir, what is our next move?" Kevin looked at the stars and said, "We wait. Humans always wait first. We watch, we learn, we act when necessary. That is how humans survive. That is how humans teach." Susan added quietly, "Our presence is already changing the Empire. They are confused, cautious, and respectful. Maybe they will act wisely." Kevin smiled faintly. "Sometimes being human is enough. We do not need weapons to command attention. Our calm, patience, and intelligence are stronger than fleets. The Empire will see it. And that is why they fear us." As night passed on the battleship, the Empire's fleets moved carefully. Envoys tried to communicate. Minor species watched in hope and fear. Stories of the human ship spread across trade routes. Every system, every station, every fleet knew the ship's presence. Kevin Morris stood on the command deck and whispered, "Humans do not need to fight to make a difference. Our quiet teaches lessons. Our patience teaches wisdom. And soon the Empire will understand." And for the first time in many cycles, the Empire began to question its own power, its own choices, and the way it treated other species. Humans were not just strong. Humans were clever, patient, and calm. And that calm, more than weapons, began to change the galaxy. The human battleship moved slowly through the Empire's sector. It did not attack, it did not fire, and it did not signal warnings. Yet its presence affected everything around it. Fleets paused their patrols. Colonies watched nervously. Even the Empire's governors were uncertain about what to do next. Humans did not fight like others, and that difference made all the difference. Captain Kevin Morris stood on the command deck, staring at the stars. Eric Hall, still uneasy, asked quietly, "Sir, they are still gathering fleets. They are nervous, but they haven't attacked." "Why?" Kevin smiled faintly. "Humans do not need to attack to make a point. Our calm teaches respect. Our restraint teaches caution. Sometimes being present is stronger than firing weapons." Susan Lee walked beside them. Sir, minor species keep sending messages. They want protection. They ask if we will intervene if the Empire attacks. They are scared, but they hope for guidance. Kevin nodded. Then we are ready. Humans protect those who cannot protect themselves, but we act only when necessary. Showing restraint is part of our strength. The Empire will learn that soon enough. Far away in an Imperial command center, Lisa Grant studied the human battleship's movements. She tapped her console nervously. They are not responding to our messages. They are not fleeing. They are not attacking, yet their energy output is enormous. I cannot predict what they will do. Her assistant, Alan, added, "Ma'am, maybe the humans are just waiting. Maybe they are watching everything we do, every fleet, every colony, every outpost. They could strike if we make one wrong move." Lisa nodded. Exactly. That is what makes humans dangerous. Not their weapons alone, but their patience. Their timing. They wait, they observe, and they act with precision. That is why the Empire is uneasy. That is why everyone is watching. On a small mining colony, Governor Rachel spoke to her council. The human ship is here. It has not attacked. It has not moved aggressively, yet our fleets feel powerless. The Empire is nervous. Humans act differently. Their calm is teaching us something. A council member frowned. But how do we know they will protect us if needed? They do not speak directly. They do not promise. They only exist. Rachel smiled. That is the human way. Their presence alone is a lesson. They do not need words. They do not need threats. Humans act carefully and teach through their actions. Back on the human ship, Eric watched the Empire's fleets on the sensor display. Sir, they are moving carefully. They are avoiding us. They have scouts, but they are hesitant. They seem afraid of our calm. Kevin nodded. Good, humans do not need to chase or threaten. Our restraint teaches respect. Our patience teaches caution. The Empire will remember this day. Susan added, Sir, one of the minor species requested assistance. Their colony was attacked by pirates. They want humans to intervene. Should we respond? Kevin considered it. Yes, but carefully. Humans act to protect, not to dominate. We will disable the threat without harming anyone unnecessarily. Precision and restraint show strength more than fire. Engineers and pilots prepared quietly. The human ship moved closer to the troubled colony, but slowly, deliberately. Sensors measured pirate ships, calculated trajectories, and analyzed weapons. The humans did not panic. They did not rush. They acted with intelligence and control. Eric whispered, Sir, we could destroy all of them at once. Why not? Kevin smiled. Because humans do not fight for show. We fight to protect. We act to teach lessons. If we destroy them unnecessarily, we teach the wrong lesson. Restraint is more powerful than destruction. Susan watched the displays. Sir, the pirates are noticing our presence. They are stopping their attacks. They are retreating. Just seeing us has changed their actions. Kevin nodded. Exactly. Humans teach without fire. Our calm is our weapon. Our presence is our shield. The Empire is watching. Minor species are watching. Everyone will remember. On the Empire's side, Lisa Grant saw the retreat. They did not fire a shot. They did not attack. Yet the pirates ran. Humans did not fight, but they acted. Their presence changed everything. I cannot explain it, but this is why humans are feared. Alan whispered, Ma'am, maybe we are learning that humans do not fight like us. Maybe that is their power. Lisa nodded slowly. Yes, humans teach caution through patience. They teach respect through restraint. They act only when necessary. That is why the Empire is trembling quietly. Back on the human ship, Kevin looked at the stars. Humans are not loud. We do not need to threaten. Our actions, our control, and our patience show more than words or fire. The galaxy is learning slowly, but it will understand. Eric asked, Sir, do you think the Empire will change after this? Kevin nodded. They will. Humans teach differently. We do not conquer for pleasure. We act to protect, to balance, to guide. Eventually, even the Empire will see the difference, and our presence alone makes them cautious and thoughtful. Susan added, Sir, the minor species are grateful. They are reporting our actions as a sign of hope. Humans are not just powerful. Humans are careful, wise, and protective. Kevin smiled. Exactly. Humans are clever. We do not need fleets to dominate. We do not need weapons to control. Our intelligence, our patience, and our morality are stronger than any gun. The galaxy is beginning to feel it. As the human ship moved on, the Empire began to reconsider its strategy. Fleets that were once confident now hesitated. Colonies that felt threatened now watched carefully. The calm human presence influenced actions everywhere. In a small council room, Governor Daniel Simmons spoke to his advisors. The humans are strange. They do not fight like us. They do not strike without reason, yet their actions or inaction are changing the galaxy. We must reconsider our approach. We cannot treat humans like any other species. One advisor whispered, "Sir, maybe their patience is their true strength. Maybe this is why every fleet hesitates. Maybe humans are teaching without firing a weapon." Daniel nodded slowly. "Yes, and we must respect that. We must learn from it. Humans are powerful, but more importantly, they are clever. Their calm teaches lessons faster than fleets or battles ever could." Back on the human battleship, Kevin walked the corridors, observing his crew. They were calm, disciplined, and ready. Engineers monitored systems. Pilots trained quietly. Communications officers listened carefully. Humans understood that patience and control were more valuable than rushing into action. Eric watched him. "Sir, do you think they will ever understand humans completely?" Kevin smiled faintly. "Some may never fully understand, but that is not the point. Humans teach through presence, through careful action, and through restraint. That is enough. The galaxy will learn slowly but surely." Susan added, "Sir, the Empire fleets are retreating slightly. They are cautious now. Our comm has taught them a lesson. They will think before acting." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. Humans do not act to dominate. We act to balance, to protect, and to guide. That is why we are feared and respected. Our patience and intelligence teach faster than weapons ever could." As hours passed, the human battleship moved quietly through the sector. Minor species sent messages of hope and gratitude. The Empire fleets maintained distance, unsure of what to do. Whispers of human cleverness and restraint spread across the galaxy. The ship became more than a vessel, it became a symbol. Kevin looked out at the stars. Humans are not just strong. Humans are patient, careful, and intelligent. Our calm is our weapon, our restraint is our shield. The Empire and the galaxy are beginning to understand, and that is only the beginning. Eric whispered, "Sir, the Empire seems nervous. Colonies are watching." "We have changed many minds without firing a single shot." Kevin smiled. "Exactly. Humans act with purpose. We protect, we observe, we teach. Our presence is enough to inspire hope and caution. Humans are clever and the galaxy will remember." And so the human battleship moved quietly, but its presence sent ripples across the Empire. Fleets were cautious, colonies were hopeful, and the galaxy began to understand that humans were not conquerors but protectors. Humans acted differently, and that difference became a lesson stronger than any fleet or weapon. The human battleship moved slowly through the Empire's sector, deeper than any fleet had gone before. It did not attack. It did not fire. It did not send demands. Yet its presence was everywhere, and every system it passed felt the quiet weight of humanity. Captain Kevin Morris stood on the command deck, staring at the stars. The galaxy was vast, but the humans had a way of making even distant fleets notice them. Eric Hall, still uneasy, spoke quietly. "Sir, the Empire is watching us closely. They are nervous, hesitant. What do we do now?" Kevin smiled faintly. "We continue as we have. Humans act with purpose. We protect when necessary, we observe when possible, and we teach lessons with our presence. That is enough to change the galaxy." Susan Lee, the diplomat, joined them. "Sir, minor species continue to send messages. They are asking for guidance, protection, and reassurance. They see the human ship as a symbol of hope." Kevin nodded. "And we will protect them carefully. Humans act to maintain balance, not to dominate. That is why the Empire and other species are learning from us without a single shot being fired." Far away in the Empire's control centers, Lisa Grant watched reports flood in. Every fleet, every outpost, every colony was sending updates about the human battleship. She typed a message to Governor Daniel Simmons. "The humans are moving deeper into the sector. They are calm, deliberate, and careful. No attacks have occurred, yet their presence is causing hesitation, confusion, and respect." Daniel read the report slowly. "Prepare fleets for defense, but do not act rashly. Humans teach differently. We must understand them before taking steps. Their patience is their power. It is more dangerous than any weapon." On one of the minor colonies, Governor Rachel spoke to her council. "The humans are not attacking, they are not threatening, yet their presence inspires hope. The Empire is cautious, fleets are hesitant, and pirates are retreating. Humans act differently, and that difference is teaching the galaxy a lesson." A council member frowned. "But can we trust them? They are quiet, they do not promise, they do not demand." "What if they leave without helping?" Rachel smiled. Humans teach through actions, not words. They will act when needed. They protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is why we trust them. That is why the galaxy is learning from them. Back on the human ship, engineers checked systems. Weapons remained powered down but ready. Engines hummed quietly, precise and controlled. Pilots trained in simulations, prepared to act if necessary. Humans were calm, disciplined, and ready. Patience and observation were their greatest strengths. Eric asked Kevin, "Sir, what if the Empire decides to attack us anyway?" Kevin looked at him calmly. "We respond only as necessary. Humans act carefully. We do not fight for pride or fear. We fight to protect, to balance, to guide. Our restraint teaches faster than weapons ever could." Susan added, "Sir, reports indicate that the Empire fleets are withdrawing slightly. Colonies are no longer panicking. Our calm has influenced many decisions already." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. Humans act to change minds without fire. Our presence is our lesson. Patience and intelligence are stronger than fleets. Humans do not need to shout to be heard." In one small system, a trader named Jenna Cole whispered to her assistants, "The humans are leaving, but their impact is clear. Fleets are cautious. Pirates are hesitant. The Empire respects them. Humans act with intelligence, patience, and morality." Her assistant Tyler nodded slowly. "Maybe humans are not like any other species. They do not fight for power. They fight to protect, to guide, to teach. Just existing changes everything." Back on the human ship, Kevin walked the corridors, observing his crew. Engineers worked quietly. Pilots trained carefully. Communications officers monitored every channel. Humans did not panic. Humans did not rush. Humans understood that control and patience were stronger than panic or aggression. Eric whispered, "Sir, the Empire fleets are still hesitant. Colonies feel safer. Minor species are hopeful. We have changed more than we realized." Kevin smiled. "That is what humans do. We act with purpose, we observe, and we teach through restraint. The galaxy will remember today. Humans are clever, patient, and strong. That is our true power." Susan added, "Sir, one minor species sent a message of thanks. They said they understand humans now, even if only a little. They respect our way of acting." Kevin nodded. "Humans protect, humans guide, humans teach. Our strength is not in weapons alone. Our strength is in our patience, our intelligence, and our morals. The galaxy will remember that." Far away in an Imperial command center, Lisa Grant watched the human battleship slowly drift past sensor range. She sighed. They did not fight. They did not demand. Yet the Empire, minor species, and colonies have all been changed. "Humans are powerful, but more importantly, they are wise." Alan whispered, "Ma'am, maybe humans do not need to conquer. Maybe their strength is in their restraint, in their patience, and in their lessons." Lisa nodded slowly. "Yes, that is why they are feared and respected. Humans act differently, they think differently, and that is what makes them strong." Back on the human ship, Kevin looked at the stars. "Humans are not loud. We do not need fleets to command attention. We do not need weapons to control. Our calm, patience, and intelligence are stronger than any fleet. The galaxy is beginning to understand that." Eric asked softly, "Sir, do you think the Empire will remember us?" Kevin smiled faintly. "They will. Our actions, our restraint, and our intelligence are lessons they will not forget. Humans teach differently. Humans act carefully, and when necessary, we protect. That is how humans change the galaxy without firing a shot." Susan added, "Sir, the minor species are reporting peace. Pirate attacks have stopped. Colonies feel safer. Even the Empire fleets are cautious. Our presence is changing everything." Kevin nodded. "Exactly, humans are clever. Our patience, intelligence, and morality are stronger than weapons. Our presence is enough to teach lessons. The galaxy will remember this day for cycles to come." As the human battleship left the Empire's sector, the fleets remained cautious. Minor species sent messages of hope and gratitude. Colonies felt safer. The Empire had learned that humans acted differently, and that difference was powerful. Humans were not conquerors. Humans were protectors, observers, and teachers. Eric whispered, "Sir, it feels like we have made a difference without fighting a single battle." Kevin smiled. "Yes, humans teach through action, through patience, and through intelligence. That is more powerful than fleets or weapons. The galaxy will remember humans not for destruction but for wisdom, courage, and care." Susan looked out at the stars. "Sir, the Empire may never fully understand us, but they will respect us. They will be cautious. That is already a victory." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. Humans act carefully. We protect those in need. We teach through presence. The Empire and the galaxy will never forget the day a human battleship entered their sector and did not fire a single shot. Far away, Governor Daniel Simmons spoke to his advisors. The humans are gone, but their presence remains. We have learned that strength is not just weapons and fleets. Humans act with intelligence, patience, and care. We must remember this lesson. One advisor whispered, "Sir, maybe humans are the kind of power that does not need to dominate. Maybe their strength is in their restraint." Daniel nodded slowly. "Yes, humans are clever. Their calm teaches respect. Their patience teaches caution. They do not need to fight to influence the galaxy." Back on the human ship, Kevin watched the stars drift past. He smiled faintly. "Humans do not need fleets to conquer. We do not need weapons to teach lessons. Our intelligence, patience, and restraint are enough. The galaxy is learning slowly, but it will understand." Eric whispered, "Sir, what comes next?" Kevin answered, "Next, humans continue to watch, to guide, and to protect. We act when necessary. We teach through presence. That is how humans make a difference." "And the galaxy will remember," Susan added. "Sir, our calm, restraint, and intelligence have changed more than just fleets. We have changed minds, inspired hope, and taught caution. Humans act differently, and that difference is stronger than weapons." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. Humans are clever, patient, and moral. Our strength is in our restraint, our intelligence, and our actions. The galaxy is beginning to feel it, and that is only the start." And so the human battleship moved on, leaving no destruction behind, no fear from weapons, only respect, hope, and a lasting memory. Fleets hesitated, colonies felt safer, and the Empire reconsidered its actions. Humans had arrived not as conquerors, but as guardians, teachers, and observers. The galaxy would remember this day forever, the day a human battleship entered the Empire's sector and changed the minds of many without firing a single shot. Humans had acted with wisdom, patience, and care, and that was more powerful than any fleet or weapon could ever be.